What's up, YouTubes? This is Tony and
Danny.
And we're here for another week in review, the third of what might be 50 and what might be like 30-ish, and depending. And we have been through another week of school, and it is time for the next week in review. So, where we last left off, it was Friday morning.
Saturday. We had fun Saturday.
Saturday. You had fun Saturday. We'll talk about Saturday and how near and dear it is to our hearts. Let's start from Friday. I know I had this issue last week. I forget the C++ lecture again. I don't remember what we covered.
We covered pushing and popping, and
we went over more pushing and popping.
Yes, and he explained more in depth to what the hell that was.
Yeah.
It made more sense now because.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
No.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, I'll go. I felt like as it went on, it actually made less sense to me. And then by the time he was back around with his explanation, it was okay again. So I'm a little worried. I'm not sure if I totally get it, but I feel like I do.
You're just refreshing the stack basically and saving your work.
Yeah, well, the way Tim explained is you're manipulating the origin, which is cool. Would you please not? It would be a great favor to me. And thank you. And what was I gonna say? So that was. Did he spend the whole class on push pop?
Yes, he did.
Wow. No wonder I forgot it. So that was pretty much Friday. Friday night, I worked. Did you do anything cool Friday night?
I played Battlefield 3.
3, yeah.
Yes,
How is that?
Oh, I love it.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good. It's the beta, and people have been complaining though, but it's a freaking beta.
It's a beta. Like,
it's a bloody beta.
They're allowed to mess up. I've heard.
It's glitchy as hell at certain points, but it's understandable because it is a beta.
So, I mean, you can't judge the beta as a finished game. All you can, like, the way I've never really been in a beta, but...
We're just testing it.
Yeah, you gotta let them know, like, hey, in this level, I fell through the map. I don't know if that's happened. Or like, hey, the helicopter can fly through trees. But yeah, you enjoyed the Battlefield beta?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I haven't played it, probably won't. But that was Friday night?
Yes.
And then, then I came back.
Yeah.
Because we were going to...
I came back after you.
Right. And we went to Nuit Blanche the next day. Is that how I should be pronouncing it? Nuit Blanche? Nuit Blanc? Nuit Blanc?
Blanc.
Blanc. Without the blanche.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we went and we met with Dave and his roommates. And then we went downtown to the Maddie. And that was my first time to the Maddie. Have you been to the Madison?
Yeah, I have.
I've never been to the Madison.
It's a really nice bar.
I thought it was funsies. I would have liked to have almost spent more time there, although I especially was strapped for time because at this point it's Saturday night. We spent all day Saturday working on assignments, so there wasn't much to talk about there.
Yeah. Worked on Blender?
We worked on Blender. Did we talk about the name assignment last week? I don't know if we did.
I don't think we did.
Our assignment in Blender this week, we learned about curves, which are... I don't even really... They're curves. They're exactly what they sound like.
Our assignment for last week going...
Into, yeah. Wait, do you think we explained the curves?
No.
Okay, so they're basically what they sound like. They're these little lines that you can manipulate. There's two different ways to manipulate them. I don't even feel like going into it.
I don't really feel like talking about it either.
There's two different kinds of curves, and you don't want to know about either.
Nerves are better.
Nerves are better. So we spent like a lot of days Saturday writing our name. And actually, I remember the first thing we did when we sat down there. I got out a pen and paper, and I picked up my pen, and I looked at you, and I was like, Danny, can you spell my name in cursive for me? So,
it's a good thing I learned how to cursive write in grade school.
I learned how to cursive write in grade 8. They had to teach me one-on-one. But I didn't really... I knew I forgot it, but it didn't hit me how much I needed to know it for this assignment until that moment. But back to business. We were at the Madison, and we met a bunch of people there. There were 9 of us. And when did we leave? Did we leave there around 9:30?
I believe so.
Oh, the bouncer totally thought you were underage.
The bouncer totally thought I was underage.
He was
I've been there before, and it was the same bouncer guy.
Was it the same motherfucker?
It was the same guy. I'm like, do you not recognize me? Okay, I have a hat on this time, but he's like, please take off your hat.
Yeah, which is understandable.
It's understandable. I'm like, oh, frick, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Then he's like, just started pounding me with questions, and I forgot what program I was in for a minute there. I'm like...
Was it that you were nervous, or was it that he said the word major? Because we don't major in video game programming. That's just what we're in.
What's your major? I'm like...
It's more of a university term, that's the thing. Or at least it's not a term Humber likes to throw around.
Yeah.
But no, I was really worried. I was really worried. I was like...
It's like, what are you in? It's not my major!
I was gonna tell you, I was gonna be like, you're in fucking video game, bro. But I was like, oh, well, that'll just get us all kicked out. But, there was that. He asked you your zodiac sign.
Yeah.
He asked you, to spell your last name and pronounce it.
Yes. Which
was hilarious. And,
I think he was just making fun of my last name.
I think he was just making fun of me.
He's like, how do you say your last name?
Because your last name's amazing. You may not think so. But no, so we ended up getting into the Maddie somehow.
Had dinner.
Well, he even said, if you're underage, you've clearly done your homework. And I was like, the girl's not underage. Like, how unlike your ID do you look? I didn't, like...
Do you want to see
Were you using your res card? Or?
No! I even showed him my student ID as well, so... Where is it?
These bouncers, man, they make life difficult for people. For honest working citizens.
I even gave him my bank cards as well. I'm like,
I thought you only
this
had
is my
one piece
stuff.
on you.
No, I had...
Well, change purse from 2 weeks ago.
What?
Change purse from 2 weeks ago.
Okay, I don't want people to see my...
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's how you look. I guess you weren't wearing the glasses, but like... Yeah. No, I don't understand, man. I don't get his deal.
Yeah. Oh well. I'm cute.
Well, that's the thing, right? You do look young.
I look like I'm 14.
But,
I'm 19, by the way.
So we finally get in there, and everyone was happy. We all had a great time. I think we left the Maddie around 9:30-ish?
9:30-ish,
9:30-ish. And...
I had my white freezy. Oh
oh my god. So we get there, and the lady asks everyone what they want to drink, and when I told people we went to New Boston, I told them I ordered water, and my buddies at work were like, we went to a bar for water? Like, did they have it? And I was like, yeah, they had water. Like, I took a lot of flack for ordering water at a bar, but I don't know, I didn't want to pay money to drink casually, and I didn't want to get smashed, so I just got water.
Yeah, I got a typical white freezy, and
the girl had no fucking clue what you were talking about.
They had no idea. She thought I literally meant a white freezy.
I think I said, she's gonna be back in 3 hours with a white freezy, and she's gonna be like, here, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck is this?
What the frick is this?
What the frick? I would have, oh man. Ah, you're so cute. So they gave you, they billed you as a Sicilian kiss. So what I would recommend next time is if they don't understand white freezy, be like, Sicilian kiss? I don't know. I remember looking at the bill and be like, oh, Sicilian kiss.
I don't know, the freaking club and the freaking...
Yeah, the Lynx.
They knew what the hell I was talking about.
Did you? I don't know. I've never heard of a white freezy. That's the thing. Who told you about the white freezy?
A friend of mine from, like, grade school. I told you about this.
Did you?
Yeah.
You did.
He moved away, and then he moved back, and then I met him at my friend's party again.
And he was like...
He had a white freezy and let me try it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the best thing in the world!
For those who don't know, she only said it once, and it's a white... It tastes like a goddamn white freezy, and it's amazing. It's like it's great. If I could pull off the look of a white freezy, I'd get it, but no, not quite. Not quite dainty enough.
Yeah.
But, so that was the Maddie. And then all 9 of us, we walked down Young Street, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was about 9:30 we started our little trek.
Yeah.
And around 9:45 I was like, I haven't seen anything yet. And if you want to interrupt, go ahead. I don't know if you saw something in those first few steps. And
yeah, there was a bunch of stuff, but okay.
Well, there was like people and like things in the windows, and it was like, this isn't not quite what I would define as like what I expected to see at New Year.
It was better last year. There was a lot more street performers this year, but towards the end of the night for me, there was a lot more art.
Okay.
Because there was
you stayed out all night,
yes.
right? See, yeah, there's the big issue. Like I went home at 11. So we around 10. I see this crowd building in the middle of the street, and I was like, oh, that must be something awesome. And I get there, and the first thing I notice is there's this guy sitting in the middle of these 4 blue like dove lights, and I'm hearing this like ungodly noise. This just really ambient, creepy noise.
You mean the goat leg player?
We're getting to the goat leg. So I look at the
I seen him later on in the night. He moved.
Really? He moved?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was easy for me to find a good spot in the crowd because I'm twice the size of any person there. And I'm at the front. And I'm seeing this guy in the middle, and from what I can tell, he was playing. I think it was a lamb leg. It might have been a goat leg.
It was a goat leg.
It was a goat leg. Okay. It was a leg of a kind, cleaned and dried, and he had a single string strung across the femur.
Yeah.
Femur, and I think the small bone or the larger bone past your knee. And he had a single string going through it, and in the middle of the string there was a chip set, which was clearly like some sort of delay pedal. It was really cool, just built in. And he was just tapping it with his thumb. And it was making the greatest, most awesome noise.
And you were like stuck there for a good 10 minutes while we were waiting for you.
I don't know who tugged on my jacket. Was that you?
That was
It was
me.
you tugging on my jacket, Fred poking me in the shoulder. I know I wanted to. Did I turn around and tell you all to go fuck yourselves?
No.
Because I wanted to. I thought I told you all to go fuck yourselves.
Like we were there for 10 minutes and then we were waiting for you. Like,
So
we better get going.
there were 9 of us, and I was the only one even mildly interested in this guy, and I was entranced. So it was probably really tough for the 8 of you, and I feel a little bad, but I don't regret anything that I did. But at one point, I was about to leave, and this guy's all hooded, like you couldn't see anything on him. And he reaches into his jacket as I'm turning away, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be awesome. I don't know what he's reaching for. Like, I figured he was reaching for like a pick or something to like pick the string itself, and he gets out a violin bow. And I don't know if you noticed him, but he was dragging it along the tibula?
I have no idea.
I think the short bone below your knee is the tibula. That would make that the fibula, though. Oof, I really don't remember. But the small bone in the back behind you, below your knee, and he's like dragging it along in a circular motion, and that's when it just got too amazing. So I had to stay there for another 5 minutes. I don't know. And eventually, I was like, okay, I got 8 friends waiting for me. We gotta go. And then we went, and then I saw a whole lot of nothing. And eventually, one of the guys we were with was like, I got piss. And I was like, oh. We were all like, oh. And he ended up going to a pizza, if you remember. A couple other people went to pizza with him, either to eat or piss. And it was like me, you, and I think just Fred were out on the street still. Yeah. And you were like, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. And I was like, what? And you describe what you saw, and it'll be great.
There was a giant unicycle. And there was a chainsaw. And there was basically torches, but they weren't drenched or anything lit. And this guy was setting up. And I'm like, I really want to see this. I really want to see him juggle that chainsaw right there.
You were like, I'm so down with the chainsaw juggling.
And then... and so, we wait for this guy to set up. And at first it's like, okay, you're just talking to us as he sets up, and this random guy comes out of nowhere, and music starts playing, and he just starts dancing. And I'm like, this is so random. But it's so great.
I didn't like the dance he was doing. He was air guitaring at times, and there was no guitar in the song, and I was like, that's unprofessional, good sir. I don't know. But anyways.
But after the dance part, the guy was finally ready to like set up his borders and boundaries. There was just this huge rope he took from one end to the other, and he's like, here, my girlfriend's gonna hold it. And I'm like, dude.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah, the girl that he handed the rope to first was like, this one's my girlfriend. And then her boyfriend's standing right next to her. And I'm like, oh! And so the rope goes along, and then he pushes the crowd back, he pushes our side back a bit. Then he starts, and he's basically, I don't know how to describe it, stand-up comedian type thing?
Yeah, he was more or less a stand-up comedian at this point.
Yeah, and so he started his chainsaw, well, tried to get it started. It took a while to get the chainsaw started.
It was cold out.
And for a while there, I thought it didn't have anything on it, but as soon as he started it, it started to go around, and then he started putting up, like, reeling it on the ground, and it was actually sparking, and, like, you could actually hear it, the metal clashing with the cement, and you're like, holy frick.
That'll cut you.
That'll hurt a lot. You. And so, then he starts juggling chainsaw, and we're all like...
On the unicycle?
No, not on the unicycle. He doesn't get up to the unicycle till the fire. Yeah, so he starts juggling this chainsaw and this other stuff, and we're like, he's so gonna die. We're waiting for like an arm or something to just be chopped off at this point. There's a spider in my window.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm sorry, it's really distracting.
It is. But so yeah, he does that, and then he takes forever to get up on that stupid freaking unicycle of his. And I think he left by that point.
I was gone long before this.
Oh, wow.
When I left, we'll get to what I saw when I looked at him. When I left, he hadn't revved the chainsaw.
Oh.
I did not see sparks. So continue, and then I'll try to let you know what I interpreted from this art.
Well, he did that, and then he finally got up onto the freaking, like...
The unicycle.
Huge unicycle.
It was
huge. And then the crowd that formed, it was a huge crowd. And then people started to try to push through it on the one side, and people were starting to fall. So, yeah, it was getting dangerous. So he was finally up there, and he was about to start juggling his fire when freaking this happened. And he's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's a big
this
deal.
is getting unsafe. He's like, okay, can everyone just step towards me?
Oh, because he needs to get down at this point.
No, step towards him.
I don't get it.
The crowd that was being pushed,
right.
And people
he
are
wants
falling.
them closer to him?
He wants them closer to him. So we all just kind of packed in, and he's on that freaking unicycle still, going back and forth, trying to keep balanced in one place.
Yeah.
And freaking the people on the sidewalk are like swearing at the crowd that's gathered around him. He's like, wow, I'm sorry, guys.
Wow.
It was like, oh, that crowd right there just ruined our fun. We were about to see this guy totally torch his hair or something.
So, is that when it ended?
No, he did a little fire juggling, like with us all crowded in around him.
Okay.
And that was a bit scary. Because I'm like, if he drops those, someone's dead.
Someone's dead, most likely.
Yeah. So he's dragging 3 of these flame torches, and yeah. Then he stops and he's like, guys, I'm sorry, I can't go anymore, type thing.
Yeah.
It's getting
too ridiculous.
Yeah, so he blows out the torches and he gets off the unicycle, and we're like, oh, okay. And then we continue on with the rest of the night. But what did you see? I'm sorry.
No, absolutely.
I really wanted to see it.
Absolutely okay. So we got to him around 10:30ish.
Yeah.
So I had to leave in a half hour at this point. So the fact that we were staying to see something that hasn't already started was bugging me already. But I wasn't willing to be... Like, you all waited for me at Satan with a lamb leg. Leg. So I was like... Good. I'll be good on them. They're good pals. I'll be a good pal. And I wanted to see that dude juggle chainsaws. That was going to be awesome. But, like 10 minutes in, the music had just stopped and he was talking to the crowd. And the way it was formed was you were like out front, Fred was behind you, I was behind Fred, and behind me was Dave and his fiance. Their fiance, right? I can say that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I've been saying that. And I tapped Fred on the shoulder. I'm like, listen, like this is getting really boring. And he's like, well, whatever. So I turn out, and I was talking to Dave and Carrie. I was like, listen, like I don't want to be here anymore. Like this guy's really starting to annoy me. And Carrie was like, well, at least you can see. Because Carrie's not short, but she's shorter than me, and I was pretty much directly in front of her. So at that point, I decide to just tell her what's happening, through radio. So I said, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. I don't know if you heard me. I tried to get loud. And then I stopped after a while. I was like, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. I know some people heard me in the crowd. I was getting weird looks. But I was pissed off. And eventually he revved the chainsaw at one point, put it down, and then turned it off. And I was like, oh, you don't do that, that's just not nice. So eventually I turned to I get Fred's attention, and I was like, listen, if this guy doesn't cut his arm off in a minute, I'm gone. And Fred was like, okay. So about a minute passes, and I turn to Dave and Carrie, and I'm like, peace. And I start walking south. And I realize I'm downtown walking south. At this point, I'm gone. So I don't know. Right after I left, he probably started doing awesome stuff. Yeah. But I was not willing to wait another moment. It was almost 11 at this point, so I had to get home anyways. And I realized I was walking south. I didn't quite know if I was on a subway line, so I figured I'd start walking north towards Bloor again. Yeah. Because I was like, I know Bloor, that's cool. As I deviate away from Bloor, I don't really know where I'm at. So I turn and I'm about to start walking north again. Mm-hmm. And I see Dave and Carrie coming towards me because they left too at 11. And we all took the subway home, and they got off at their stop, I got off at my stop, I took the bus home, got home around 12:30ish, 1, and then that was my new role. On the way to the subway, I thought I was hearing a really talented drummer, and when I got there, it turned out to be 3 drummers. 3 drummers and a guitarist and a bassist, and due to like the acoustics outside and the crowd, I could not hear the guitar or the bass for the life of me. But those guys were rocking out. Like, you just couldn't hear it. I guess the guys in front of them could hear it, but we were like behind their amps. Whew, sorry. But yeah, that was it. The subways home were violent. It was actually kind of scary. A fight either broke out or almost broke out, and it was getting bad. And at one point, I didn't have anything to grab onto. I was just kind of in the middle of people, and I lost my balance at one point. So I kind of I knew there was something in this general area for me to grab. So I go up to grab it, and I hit this girl. Right? Not I didn't slap her, but if I was any less if I had done that,
okay,
I would have just hit her in the back of the head and probably knocked her out. Instead, I nicked her glasses, so I thought I busted her glasses. But she was like, no, everything's fine. I was like, I'm so sorry. But, once we got to Bloor, everything was okay. It was just getting to Bloor was a real hassle. We barely got onto the subway. In fact, getting onto the subway was terrifying because I didn't think we were getting on, and I turned back, and they were getting on. So I, jumped into the subway, and, all of me jumps into the subway and just, kills people. And so that's how I got onto the subway in a terrified state, because I really didn't want to be left at that station alone. So yeah, that was it. That was my Nuit Blanche. So after that, you guys would have continued south, I assume.
We went all over the place. We backtracked so much.
Really?
Yeah. So we were walking the whole freaking time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We seen a bunch of stuff, and then we seen spotlights. Well, yeah, we seen a bunch of stuff, and then we backtracked up that street where we seen the juggler chainsaw dude.
Okay, yeah.
Fred and Dave were hungry, so they grabbed something to eat.
Cool.
I grabbed a water.
Nice.
And then we kept on heading, I think, still up that street where that goat leg thing was.
Back towards Bloor?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we went off to the side to check the map, and they were like, let's go to this plaza thing because they had something cool last year type thing. So
was that the wall that you wrote on? Or?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Not the wall, but it was close to the wall.
Okay.
But they didn't have the wall this year. It was very sad.
Oh,
instead, they had flame torches.
Interesting.
Which was really cool.
No, kind of just a bunch of torches in a weird pattern, or
there was 2, 4, 6, 8 of these huge fire torch things, and people got to go into the center and basically play around with them and make them fire up. So, yeah, it was nice and warm as well. So at the end of the night, it's oh my god.
Oh yeah, it was a cold day. When I left, I was comfortable.
But we were still with other people at this point as well.
There were still 6 of you at this point. There should have been. Unless you split up further.
After the flame torches, that's when we started to split up further.
Really?
Yeah.
Who'd you stick with?
I stuck with Fred and Dave.
And then Dave's roommates all went on their own? Oh yeah, you know what? They left. Yeah, they were leaving around 4 in the morning, weren't they?
It was more so 2-ish around this point.
Oh,
3
okay.
to 3 in the morning.
So it's just the 3 of you at this point?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then, yeah, we went to go to that center middle thing. This is after reading the map and eating. And there's, fog and, flashing lights inside buildings. It kind of looks like a horror movie, and there's spotlights all over the place, and the spotlights would follow certain people. And it was just so cool.
That's awesome.
Just standing there for a bit, I'm like, this is awesome.
See, that's how I felt around Satan with a goat leg. Oh, I wish I had my camera on me.
Yeah.
So I could have taken video of him, because, oh man, he looked awesome.
But yeah, and then Fred left us after that.
Really? It was just the 2 of you?
Dave. Yeah.
Cool.
And next thing we seen, I think, was the bells. The balloon and the bells. I seen this thing just floating up in the sky, and it was glowing, and I'm like, I want to see that. So we go up to it, and I start hearing ringing. I'm like, where's that ringing coming from? We get closer, and there's 2 bells hanging off a balloon. And I'm like, okay. So we go over to the sign, which basically tells you what the art is. And basically you can phone the bells, and they'd ring for you.
Dude.
I'm like, dude, that's so cool.
That's
I didn't want to phone them, but there was other people there too, and they started to phone it.
And it would ring.
And I'm like, that's cool.
On a balloon. That's
On a balloon.
That sounds cool, man. That sounds pretty cool.
It is pretty wicked, yeah.
So, okay. So then, after
and
that...
we just went down this one street. I don't know what it was, but we were backtracking a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, backtracking, and then we went off further down the street. It was so long.
Well, yeah.
I had to sit down.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm like, my feet are starting to kill me at this point.
So that...
And that was around
6?
3, 4 in the morning at this time. And then we started to head back around 5-ish, I think.
Were there still buses running?
Yeah.
Oh.
We caught the last subway train.
Nice.
But the bus lady lied to us.
Oh.
And dropped us off at a station that was closed and wouldn't have a bus coming for another 2 hours.
Oh. So did you guys have to hang out for 2... Oh, you taxied home.
We taxied home.
Wow, that sucks.
It got really cold. And
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Whew. So, that's Nuit Blanche?
Yeah.
That was
it was fun.
Are you going to go next year?
Yes.
I might.
Take off the day.
I might, yeah. No, yeah. I didn't know it was coming up. I really didn't.
I didn't know either until like, the Monday before.
And then you told me.
And I'm like,
yeah, you told me that day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, next year, hopefully I can get Sunday and Saturday off. And, I don't know, I might just go by myself, because holding up 8 other people for Satan with a Lamp, I would have stayed and watched him for hours. And I couldn't, because I was with other people, so... Might be better if I just go by myself, which is depressing.
Take some of your music buddies with you.
I don't have any music buddies.
Nice.
That's true. No, they all went their own way. I should message them. So that was Saturday, and actually Sunday morning as well,
Yeah.
because I was asleep at this point. Actually around 7 I would have woken up and gone to work. So Sunday I worked.
And I went to bed at like 7:30.
Yeah, so you slept all day Sunday pretty much.
Yeah, and I woke up around 4:30.
Wow, Monday, which is our early day, so it kind of works out.
God, I had difficulties falling asleep Sunday night.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta go to sleep. I gotta go to sleep.
You know, you would have been so high energy after...
I was up until like 12 something, and I'm like, okay, I need to force myself to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Monday we have IT.
Yeah, we have
Almost said Unity.
No, that's
Tuesday. I'm so bad at remembering, because like what I do in the mornings is I go into J and I walk into class and I just wait to see what teacher's there. And I'm like, oh, it's TAS? Oh, okay, it's Unity. So Monday, we learned, it was IT, and I've determined, you remember last week I said I hated IT?
Yeah.
And it was because, it might have been because I didn't eat in the morning.
Yeah.
It is definitely because I didn't eat in the morning. Because I made sure I ate breakfast Monday. And I loved IT, which is regular. But what did
That spider is having difficulty.
Is he trying to spin a web? He's not trying to spin a web.
He's been stuck in his own web for a while.
That's derpin.
Yeah.
That's derpin. I want to help him.
No, don't.
I want to be friends with the spider.
Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Or her. See, it's stuck again.
It is stuck, and I don't think it really knows where it's going. Wow.
Okay, continue on.
So we learned, what did we learn Monday?
Financial
stuff, things like buying development kits, you know, how much things will cost you, budgets. Yeah, we learned a lot about budgets Monday, which is really cool. And right at the end he said he was going to post up how our capstones are marked, or how they were marked in the past. And I haven't looked at it yet, but the one thing I do remember is that you get bonus marks. If you actually lose marks for using an engine pre-made.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. They kind of expect you to make your own engine, which is... sounds like a very tall task. Sounds really friggin' difficult. But nothing, I don't remember anything particularly interesting happening on Monday. Oh! He talked about, I think it's called extreme programming practices.
Yeah.
Where 2 programmers will share a computer and...
basically yell at each other.
Basically yell at each other. And...
it's like, yeah, this code needs to be blah, 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 blah.
I remember...
No, I don't think it's that, it's this.
I remember for the XNA final last year, me and Keelan were at his res room, and we were doing extreme programming without even noticing. He'd program while I was playing... well, okay, it wasn't quite extreme because I was playing Final Fantasy IX at the time. But if he needed help, he'd ask. And if he got frustrated, I'd take over, and he'd take over Final Fantasy IX. And it worked really, really well. And then as I thought about it, for the Java final project, if you remember, we sort of did extreme programming when we were working on the server.
Yeah.
That didn't quite go our way, but, well, I was the only one who didn't get it done. But, so I was like, oh, I was about to say, like, oh, like, I've done it with Danny, I've done it with Keelan, it's great. And then these two other guys in class were like, oh yeah, we did it last weekend. And then our teacher says, oh, you did it together. And at that point, you probably heard me because you're fairly close to me in class, but all I could say, I stopped from saying, oh, me and Keelan did it. I said, well, that sounds pretty gay. And I'm really happy the teacher didn't hear me, but everyone around me heard me.
It's like ... Hey.
Well, it did sound really gay. Like, I'm not saying it was gay, it just sounded really homosex. And, not that there's anything wrong with that. But, that was pretty much Monday. After class, I don't think we did... Oh, I hung out with Keelan and Conrad, and we played Super Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars. Have you played it?
No, I watched it.
It's a lot of fun, I gotta say. It's a good game. It's a fun little game.
What did I do Monday?
Then I went to work, so that was my Monday.
Oh, yeah.
My weekends are so depressing. Friday I work, Sunday I work, Monday I work.
This is your last Friday working.
This is my last Friday. Thanksgiving is my last Friday. My manager was so grateful for me not complaining about that, because I said 2 weeks into school I need Friday off, and we're now 6, and I'm finally getting Friday off. Yeah. But I know, like, he's not getting the staff he needs, so.
We're actually 5. This is our 5th week. We're going to finish our 5th.
We're finishing our 5th week. Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
But, what did you do Monday?
I ate.
I love eating. I do that sometimes.
I worked on a game treatment. Almost finished that off, except for the financial bull that was happening with it.
Yeah, well, you finished that just this morning.
Yeah. And, then I went to go hang out with Dave, and then we went to dodgeball.
Oh yeah, you dodgeball that day.
Fun. I'm doing so good.
I was always really bad at dodgeball.
Well, I made the first cuts.
Yeah, you made the first cut, which pretty much makes you the best dodgeball player ever. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So there's one more cut you gotta make.
Yeah.
And if you make it, you're on the dodgeball team.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
They only want 12 people. Currently, they have 17.
They have 17, so 5 more motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Are gonna get cut. Do you think you're better than 5 people on the team?
I have no idea.
I bet.
Well, they have to have a certain amount of girls on the team.
Really?
And 4 girls made it, so possibly they're cutting 2.
Do you think you're better than 2 out of the 3 other girls?
Hell yeah.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. You will probably make it if you keep that attitude. At that point, so that was Monday more or less. I don't know if you did anything after dodgeball.
No. Came back, showered, slept.
Oh man, showers are badass. Tuesday is Unity.
Philosophy of Love.
Oh, philosophy first.
I hated it so much. I'm like, I was prepared for this test, like in the long
Oh
run,
my god!
short answers and everything.
I forgot about the test because it.
And then I'm like, it's 5 questions. This isn't good. This is terrible.
The night before, I started reading over all the PowerPoints. And he's going on about Freud, he's going on about Blackburn, and I'm like, I know this stuff. But whenever I get confident about a test, I actually psych myself out. I'm like, oh man, if I'm confident, that just means I don't know anything. So, that morning, me and Tim were going to cram session just before class, and Tim slept through his alarm. So he didn't get to class until just before it started, more or less.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to cram session, so I was actually kind of stressed going into it. And he introduced the test, he's like, no one talk, and I got my dice out. And, because multiple choice, I always have dice. I always have a 4-sided, 6-sided, and 10-sided dice. Although this time I couldn't find my 4, so I had to use an 8. Sorry?
I didn't like how the test was. It was only 5 questions, and I can't, if I'm timed like that, I get stressed and just forget everything that I studied.
So,
and I'm like,
he introduces the test, and the first thing he says, so I sat separately from you guys, because I figured no one could, and then that one guy sat next to you.
Yeah, he's like, is it okay if I sit here? I'm like, half the class is, like, free.
Yeah.
Sure you can.
And I'm like, what do you gain? What do you gain from sitting next to Danny? Like, it was really weird, and then he was putting that shit on his hand that smelled really fruity. Was that him or you?
That was him.
Yeah.
I'm like...
I was like, Danny, what the... Oh my god!
It's not Danny.
And I was just like, what a fruitcake, like, honestly. And he seems like a cool guy. Actually, he emailed Tim asking if he could be in Tim's group for our presentation. But anyways, so he introduces the test. He says, if you spell something wrong, you lose half a mark. And I turn to you, and I'm just like, oh, shit.
I'm like,
because I was expecting to do, like, paragraph-long answers about, like, Nietzsche and Locke and things like that. And so I get the test, and I realize there's only one side.
And I hate it.
And he's like, you have 5 minutes. And I'm just like, oh, shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I panicked, and I'm like, I don't know.
So
I know I got the first 2, and the last one, I'm like, frick. I totally messed
positive
up.
I got perfect. But when we were flipping, when we flipped it over, I went, yep, Freud, yep. What was the answer to the last one? It was
the cave, but...
No, it really wasn't.
It wasn't?
No,
it wasn't that poem. Because I put the poem by accident because I was thinking about the poem.
It was gay science. I'm pretty sure it was gay science.
Oh, well.
Yeah, gay science by Nietzsche.
Yeah, Nietzsche.
Yeah. That's what I was like, yep, Freud, yep, Nietzsche. Was it Freud? Yeah. And that was it. And I turned around to see if I beat you and Tim was already flipped, but you were still going at it. And I was like, damn it, I thought I had it. And the difference was Tim didn't second guess his Freud. He had it just before I did.
Yeah.
But you almost maxed out time again because it was time.
I wanted to switch the one answer, but then he's like, time. I'm like,
Those girls in the back kept writing, and he kept saying, can you put your pens down? And they're like, derp. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, you've had 5 minutes, answered 5 questions. Like, I had more stressful tests in grade 4.
No. Time tests like that, I can't do.
I understand.
It doesn't give me time to think
to really think.
Like,
yeah, I don't get it. I felt like a 20-question test with half an hour to do it would have been more.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet that's what he was planning. And he realized we're so behind in the class
that he's like,
he shortened it to a 5-minute test.
He said it would be a 10-question test.
Did he?
Yes.
I think he did.
And he said multiple choice.
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't multiple choice. This is a fill in the blank.
And then the presentation went up.
Yeah.
And I felt that they were far and away the worst so far.
Really?
Yeah. If only because one thing bugged me the most. One girl slipped up on her wording. She said something about nurses instead of nuns.
Yeah.
And began to laugh hysterically. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, okay, so when you fuck up your lines in drama, you pretend it never happened. It never happened. Same goes for presentation. You either briefly apologize, say like, sorry, derp or herp. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I wish I had it on me, my marking, because I want to show like what he got so mad at me about, but we'll get to that. So, fuck, just because of that, I was like, man, this presentation sucks. I could never get past that. So for me, it was a really bad presentation. Okay, you know what? There wasn't even one full point. It was 0.1 of a point that you beat me by. Yep. Which is bullshit. I've never seen such specific marking in my life. And I feel like he looked at the two of us and was like, one of them has to win by 0.1. This one does. And I'm just like, ah! But, so we get our mark back for our presentation. And I already knew I got 15 out of 20, which is less than I had hoped for, but more than I felt I deserved. Mm. And you didn't know your mark. Tim knew he got 17.4. Yeah. So when you get your mark back, it's 15.1.
I think our group thing was the lowest.
Really?
It was the lowest.
I'd imagine.
It was 3.9.
Because our group sucked.
Yeah.
As a whole, we all sucked.
It sucked.
We were bad.
I was so
as
mad.
an individual unit, we were all pretty good.
Yeah.
But when we molded together,
it's like, yeah, you guys.
We all kind of sucked when we came together. And I mean, Tony coming in late didn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
That was really bad. So, he got mad at 2 main points in my presentation. You can read out your criticisms if you'd like. I couldn't
read it.
Me and Tim had a difficulty. His main 2 points was I used the term chick to describe Samus, and he was like, don't say that when you're trying to argue positive representations of sexuality. That's the opposite when you say that. And the reason I did it was so that it could kind of reinforce my point, if you know what I mean. I thought differently about it than him. And the other thing he got mad at was the image of Mitsuru that I used. Was her in her like regular costume with the skirt and the boots. And he's like, you used a really sexual picture of her. And I was like, that's not even true. I was like, she looks pretty nice, but like, I could have done a lot worse. I think she's got the maid costume. I should have gotten the maid costume, damn it.
And no one understood your jokes at all.
No one understood my jokes because I thought I was being mainstream enough when I said things like Mega Man.
But people didn't know what the hell that was, and I'm like...
Do
wow,
most people
seriously?
not know what Mega Man is?
I have no idea. There was a freaking cartoon about him. How could they not know?
He is like the biggest third-party mascot ever, I think. The only one that might outdo him is like...
Sonic.
No, I'm saying third-party. Like that's a Sega thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Capcom's is... Well, Mario's for Nintendo, right? You see what I'm doing though? Like I'm seeing... Like Capcom's mascot... like the only one who would be maybe better...
I thought Capcom's mascot was Mega Man.
Yeah, essentially. More or less. Not quite anymore.
Now I think Zero is more mascot than Mega Man, which is kind of sad.
It really is. So, after that we talked more in philosophy, nothing really happened. And then we both got bored. It was...
Yeah, philosophy's...
It's declining in my interests.
Yeah. I wanted to...
There's no reading this week. Because he's so fucking behind. So I'm caught up on the readings now. Really, have you not read?
Been doing the readings.
Have you read Confessions? You should.
I should.
Have you read? Okay, then you haven't read Confessions from St. Augustine. The most boring piece of writing I will ever read.
Yeah, when you told me that, I'm like, I'm not reading it.
Fucking. I don't mean to disrespect, but I do. Fuck that shit. Honestly, I was in physical and mental pain reading that. It was all him just like being like, I'm so sorry, God, please, I know you forgive me and I love you and I know you love me, even though I've done so much. I was like, shut up.
Shut up right now.
Yeah, like I don't want to hear your weird zealot cultish thing. Anyways. They're really bad, it's really boring reading. And if you've read Genesis or have a vague understanding, actually you know all of Genesis from class, he went way too far into it. Yeah. That's what was so boring. He went Genesis word for word, which at first was really fun, and then it became less fun, and then it became not fun. So then we had an hour break. I didn't do anything special. I doubt you did anything special in an hour.
What did I do in that hour?
Probably like played spoons.
I think I did.
Yeah, I played nothing. I talked to people.
No, I did play spoons.
Nice. And so then we went to Unity. And
I'm getting really frustrated with him. I was okay with him. His quietness was kind of annoying, because I expect my teacher to be loud.
Yeah, usually guys like, I think Fred's the one who normally calls teachers on being quiet, which is good. I can't quite do it, but he can, that's great.
Yes. It's like, you're speaking too quietly, please speak up.
Tasso is actually really starting to get on my nerves with his teaching styles.
Yes.
And this week he assigned us, we have to, using scripts, create a pyramid of blocks, and make a guy who can shoot the blocks, but he only gets a certain number of shots with a spear, thank you.
He has 3 shots.
He's get 3 shots. As the longer you hold down the button, the farther it goes, the faster it goes, I guess.
Yeah, velocity needs to increase.
And he needs to respawn if he falls off the stage. And he showed us how to do the respawn, and then he was like, good luck with everything else, motherfuckers. And we were like, okay.
And I didn't realize how freaking annoying Unity could be and how freaking picky it would be.
It's really...
Ugh. I want to choke the program
I felt like
itself.
the compiler was less helpful than most compilers, and that's saying a lot, because most compilers are intelligent...
To a certain extent.
But, I mean, the worst I remember is Flashes being like, there's a problem in that general area. And me being like, fuck.
And now with Unity, it's like, there's a problem. Where is it?
Everywhere.
It's in the class that...
You have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
You didn't code this, but there are 10 errors in there. And it's like...
The frick?
The fuck? And then I fixed all of them by including some using statements. But that created more errors. And I gave up.
Yeah.
And I feel like a scrub, because I know the solution is probably painfully obvious.
Yeah.
But fucking Tasha wouldn't tell us.
Yeah.
So...
It's like... Teacher respawn. Well, guess what? We already knew respawn.
Yeah, that's our Unity project this week. And I don't know if I have the respawn working because I can't go into play mode in Unity because my compiler breaks. So hopefully I do.
should just delete those classes and see if my respawn still works.
That might be really bad. If you do that, and it's not a terrible idea, throw them in a notepad or something.
That's my idea. Like,
yeah.
Everything I've done coding, I throw into notepad, delete something, and then blank slate it again.
Not a terrible idea. But it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on what the class was. I didn't really look into it, but I think it's a class we needed. But that was Tuesday. What did I do Tuesday? I don't remember. This is where we pick up so much time. We go into what we do after class.
I know.
Which is, I feel it's better. I don't know if you want to go into it.
No, it's fine.
I think it's better.
30 minutes.
30 minutes before class?
Yeah.
Alright, well we're at 45 minutes of film. So Tuesday, I don't remember what I did, to be honest.
Tuesday, we had Connie's surprise party.
Right, you were all there for that. I was not so much. Keelan sent me a message on MSN saying, happy birthday to Connie. I was like, happy birthday, Connie?
Her birthday's not till next week, next Wednesday. It's on the 12th.
No wonder it was so surprising.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
I'll have to get her, like, a gift.
Wednesdays are busy, so.
Oh, poor girl. I'll get her something next Thursday. So it's the 12th is her birthday.
Yeah.
I'll get her something on the 13th. I'll get her, like, an apple or something. Yeah, I'll get her an apple.
And then that happened, and we had cake.
I just tried the cake. It was this green tea mousse.
Yeah, it was. Oh, gross! It was so disgusting.
I'd heard
they had a choice between mango mousse or green tea.
Mango would have been so much better.
Oh my god,
man! So just a cup, just not even an hour ago.
Also, yeah. Connie loves mango, so.
Oh, see, I thought the green tea was for her. Like, I thought, oh, so if it's her flavor, she can go ahead. It's her party.
It's like after, she's like, after a while.
I tried the green tea pretty much just before we started filming, I'd say.
Yeah.
And as I started it, I was like, this is tolerable. I can deal with this. And by the end of it, I was like,
I hate this.
I don't want to be alive anymore. I don't want to deal with this emotionally. Yeah, it was weird. This green tea thing was not cool. I love mangoes as well. That's why I'm really disappointed we didn't get mango.
I'm like, I can't even eat this cake because I hate green tea. It's like,
man,
there's certain instances where
Did anyone like it? Did
Aki liked it.
Aki liked it?
Yeah.
She's allowed.
Yeah.
Who bought it?
I think Aki.
What a girl.
I know Tim liked it too.
Okay. So
I think he as well, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. See,
they yelled at me for cutting the cake because what my family does.
The cuts looked weird on the thing. How did you do it?
I just cut it into small little triangles because in my family it's like you get a little triangle, you eat that, and if you're still hungry, go back for more.
Go back for another triangle. That sounds regular to me.
But they just want this huge freaking piece. Like, you know the piece you had? It was a bit, their pieces were a bit bigger than that. And I'm like, that
bigger than
so
what I
gross.
ate? I considered that a large piece. I only ate it because I know none of you are going to eat it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we cut it into small triangles because that's how you do it.
Yeah, and they're like, bigger. I'm like, what are you talking about?
See, like, we plan for it in our, because we have like little people, like little kids in our family, and then we have people like, it goes all the way to the extreme with me.
Yeah.
So people will be like, well, this piece is going to Anthony. A bush. And like, that's a decent size for me. So we don't quite do small triangles.
It's decently sized triangles. Like, the way I was
I'd have to see the way you were
like,
doing it.
and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm cutting the cake.
Oh, Tuesday I stayed after school until about 7. That's what I did. Yeah. And then I bus home, got home around 9, 10 o'clock. Oh, 3 hours. But, so that was Tuesday more or less. Wednesday, we open up, well, it's modeling exclusively on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I had a plan. I had a plan going into this week that I was going to do certain assignments on certain days and everything was going to work perfectly.
Yep.
And I go into class on Wednesday, and we have 2 new Blender assignments instead of 1.
Yeah.
And one of them,
he's really driving me insane with the 2.
One of them is due that day at 11 p.m. One of them is due next week. So my plan is now completely screwed.
Yeah.
I can no longer do what I wanted to do on time. On top of that, we still technically have the model proposal, although I was done it as most people were, and we still should be working on the final model, although I haven't even opened it yet.
I haven't even started.
There's no time. There's no time to start it. He knows there's no time to start it, I hope.
And he keeps on giving us 2 new assignments every
2 assignments, a daily and a weekly, and it's just...
It's like, dude,
it screws
you're
with you.
expecting us to do this, but we can't.
He said something about the class not putting in the effort he wants, and that really frustrates me when I have 6 other classes. 6 other classes or 5? It feels like 7.
We do have 7.
7 classes. When I have 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 classes.
6 classes. When I have 5 other classes, we're about 21 hours of class total a week. That's a lot of shit to worry about. You know, Mr. You know, it's, I don't even want to say. But, god damn it. It's really hard to work around. When you tell me I don't put enough effort, it really hurts me. So, the daily was make a table and chairs. Mm-hmm. But you couldn't just do it the way you wanted to. Yeah. You had to do the table legs a certain way, you had to do the chair legs a certain way, you had to do the table a certain way, and you had to do certain things to the chairs to make them better. And it was like, god damn it. And you finished it in class. I almost finished a chair in class. I don't know how you got it done so fast. You're a pro.
I used basic shapes. I took the starter square and I just molded. I'm like, this is what
That's what I wanted to do. That's what I tried. I don't know. It didn't work out for me. The back I was going for on the chair was similar to the back you have on this chair, where it's like bent back in. And I was trying to get that for the longest time.
I'm just like, lounge.
Yeah, that wasn't smart of me. But, 58 or 50? Yeah, 51 minutes.
Okay, we need to wrap this up soon.
How much time do we have?
We have 20 minutes, I think.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we have less than 20 minutes.
Alright, whatever. We have a lot of time.
I need to shut off my laptop and get everything ready still.
Are you ready today? So, then it's 3-hour break.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened.
And his lecture was like 20 minutes.
20 minutes, which was
like,
good.
You can read this slide, read this slide. I'm like, you're not even teaching us anymore.
He's like, so this is a really verbose lesson, so... Next slide, next slide, next slide. Yeah, this is important.
And he tried to show us how to paint on the object. It wasn't working for him.
And it couldn't.
I'm like, does he not... What?
He couldn't get painting on an object to work.
Yeah, so
I don't blame him for that.
I don't know if the rest of the class noticed, because I've already tried to paint on an object the way he was trying.
Yeah,
it doesn't work like that. You have to go to the side. You have to actually go to the thing.
Select a color, I assume.
Yeah,
I assume he wasn't selecting a color.
And you actually go down to the bottom where it says object edit and such forth. You go to that, and then you press paint there, and then you can paint.
He couldn't get object painting to work, and he was like, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I wanted to show you, but whatever. His lesson was literally like, read this at your leisure, read this at your leisure. And it was like, god damn it, Andre, dude, I need your help here.
Yeah.
So, but I ran right to a lab so I could get his stuff done. And that was my Wednesday. I worked on stuff until about 7 again. Did you do anything special Wednesday? I think you probably worked.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball!
The first cuts were made.
And you're the man.
Yeah, I'm woman.
Woman. So that was Wednesday. Thursday. Are we already on Thursday?
Yeah.
Wow, that went fast.
C++.
C++ programming. We made things blow up.
Yeah.
We finally got there.
We finally got to that point, and it's like, yes!
Last week we were making a ball bounce, and now I have explosion, and it's... I felt really good. I felt really good.
You feel really good. Really good.
And, yeah, I was worried when he called it an assignment. I felt like he was going to add something at the last second to make it impossible, like, now do it as a chat server. And I was going to be like, ah.
He actually, I think he wanted us to print out a few classes, like Particle and Particle H.
Really?
We didn't really change anything in Particle H other than make it
I made stuff
public.
public. There were better ways to do it, like you could make get sets for it, but I didn't. I just
made everything public.
If you're the only programmer working on something, I don't see the issue.
Yeah.
If this was a group thing and you really didn't want me touching your AY value, go ahead and make it private and I won't touch your AY value, damn it. But I was so happy, and the main issue is when your particles, when they hit the bottom, continue to bounce. We're almost done.
Yeah.
We have like 20 minutes, don't worry. It takes like 5 minutes to get there.
We actually are down to 10.
Oh right, and we're in E4.
Yeah.
Alright, whatever, no, we're fine, we're good, don't worry. So, we'll just hurry out of here, and I'm gonna get my stuff after class. Sound good? I won't even wrap this up, I'll just get it after class. Sound good?
No.
No?
No.
Fuck.
Okay, let's hurry up.
Okay, so that was pretty much Thursday. And Thursday night we worked until about 10, and that brought us to today. And that's pretty much it, that's the week.
That's it.
And sorry to rush it at the end, but we have things to do that are more important. See you next week.
Bye!